Hey the internet, this is Luck. Today, the closed beta for Heart of Thorns, the first expansion for Guild Wars 2, goes live. So I'm going to take the opportunity to gush about it for a bit, because I can. I've got a lot of love for Guild Wars 2. I'll take any opportunity to talk about the amazing aspects of the game, like today, for example. Seriously, in all honesty, this is basically going to be me fanboying about Guild Wars 2, so if you're not into that, you know, maybe do whatever brings joy into your life instead. Maybe make a video or write a blog post about a game you love. Wouldn't that be fun? So, yes, I've got a lot of love for Guild Wars 2, and as such, I was thrilled to hear about the game's first expansion, Heart of Thorns. Not just because, you know, there was going to be an expansion, you know, but the nature of the changes, the nature of the new content being added, the way that it's being added. Guild Wars 2 is a game that's a little different in many subtle but many very important ways. It is extremely innovative in its approach and has used unprecedented techniques in world building, particularly. The game, it really doesn't get the credit it deserves for that, in my opinion. And, you know, while not everything ArenaNet tried worked out perfectly, the flow of the game, the removal of a reliance on power-based progression in the end game, and the way the game actively encourages players to participate in every facet and to participate with other players, you know, joyfully, willingly, seeing other players as allies rather than enemies, are all extremely strong positives for the medium. It's really helped foster an amazing online community that, if nothing else, it's worth being part of the game for that. The way that events replaced quests and the level scaling, where higher level players will be down leveled in earlier zones, and it's worth going to earlier zones for higher level players, makes the open world feel very different to the traditional MMO in a way that still, it's very often misinterpreted by players who insist on playing the game of Guild Wars 2 like a different game that Guild Wars 2 isn't. And I was as guilty of this as anyone. As much as I would moan about players confusing hearts on the map for core leveling content, you know, imagining that it was hearts instead of question marks. That's a little pet peeve of mine. But after playing, me personally, after playing Tier 1 World v World almost exclusively for hours a day, for months and months, I really burnt out on the game, and it's exactly the same thing that I was guilty of, just from a different direction, because Guild Wars 2, it's not a game that's designed to sustain that kind of activity, that kind of obsessive, very niche compulsion that a lot of us have experienced. And I think if we're really honest with ourselves, that is something that should be celebrated. And as I said already, while the game isn't perfect, I'll say that I could criticize it just as much as you could. But, you know, what game is perfect, I suppose? The upcoming expansion really is a testament to the quality of the foundation that's been established. Every area of the game has been touched on. Every area of the game has been approached with the fresh perspective that ArenaNet used when developing the game first time around. You can see that decision-making process that they go through whenever they release new content. You can see where they're building on strengths. You can see where they're minimizing weaknesses, where they're inserting fresh ideas, using that foundation to support those ideas, not tagging them on as a satellite. And by doing that, they create depth within the systems, which is depth is the magic. It's the secret sauce that really ties everything together, and it's so difficult to achieve in a game as complex as an MMO. And I think most importantly of all, they're directly responding to player feedback from the soon to be called vanilla Guild Wars 2 in all of their decisions. You can see the areas where they've taken common suggestions, common complaints about the game, and really focused on those and gone to town. Like as they were promoting the original Guild Wars 2, a major question that often came up was, will there be jumping in Guild Wars 2? And they said, yes, there will be jumping, with a sly smile on their face. And you couldn't really work out why they were so sort of pleased with themselves about jumping. And now we know. Anyone that did the Halloween clock tower, that first Halloween clock tower, man. Anyway, so it is with great joy. I use the word joy in this video a lot. Maybe they're connected in some way. It is with great joy that we anticipate the first closed beta test today, the 26th of May, as I record this video. Congratulations to the lucky folks who get to be the first to try it out. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give it a miss. Real life demands and all that, so I won't be able to take part in Revenant Wars 2 Heart of Revenants until next time, and I'm super jealous, and I will make little jokes about everyone playing Revenants to get over it. And I think while it will surely be a blast, the PSA is the usual caveat of beta as beta applies. The systems are still very much in the testing phase. From how open ANET have been about the development of the expansion, we can see it's still very much being built, it's being constructed as we speak, and it's going to be a while before it's ready for the wrinkle smoothing beta, which will come a lot later. And really, no matter how many times we go through it, we can't help but make judgments based on unfinished products, and it's a really difficult conversation happening in video games as a whole at the moment about, you know, the early access debate. When is it all right to judge a product as a finished product? And I think, yes, there have been cases where unscrupulous developers, or more often publishers, have used the early access thing as a shield to deflect criticism of a product that never ends up emerging from that stage, never ends up achieving the potential that they set out to. But I think it should be very clear that in this particular case, that is not the case, if you will. It's extremely apparent that the plan for Guild Wars 2 is for the game to grow into itself over the next several years and beyond. And the team are willing and able to learn lessons and take constructive feedback. We can see that in what's happening right now. And if this is any indication of that future, I think we can expect really great things to happen in Tyria for many years to come, and for it to continue to strike off in its own direction and be its own thing. So this is all my way of saying that Guild Wars 2 is a game that deserves your time and close attention. And I think if you approach it with an open mind and let go of some behaviors that you've learnt from other games, you won't be disappointed. And now is the perfect time, so look out for another hefty discount on the vanilla title. I'm sure there'll be several more on the lead up to the release of the expansion. Or jump back in, no sub required as always, and get on board ready for Heart of Thorns. And I suppose the reason I'm saying all this is because, you know, I'm probably going to be leveling a new character. It's a new expansion. You're going to level a new character. I like having a lot of new players around. I think it's fun. I think it's like watching a movie that you really love with someone who's never seen it before, and you get to revisit everything through their eyes, and it's a really wonderful thing. So, wow, at the end of that, I really went for it, didn't I? This was my this was my little fanboy tribute to Guild Wars 2, to say I've had my ups and downs with the game. Like I said, there's a lot in it that I can be critical of if I choose to, just as with every game. But I think overall, this is an expansion. This is something that's happening that we should all be very excited about it. I think it's going to be a major point in a major date on the MMO calendar, and I can't wait to experience that with as many of you as possible. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Leave a comment below, let us know what you like about Guild Wars 2 maybe. If there's anything in particular, any specifics that you're looking forward to in the new expansion, please let us know. If you're in the beta tonight, give us a holler and leave a like on this video. Leave a like for just liking MMOs, for enjoying MMOs and appreciating that for all of their faults, they're wonderful, miraculous things that had no right to exist in the first place. And subscribe for many wonderful things from glorious people. And I'll see you again really soon. Okay, thanks. Bye!